Hey, what's going on there, everybody? This is Sammy Leggy here representing Team JVS here to give you guys an exclusive review for a premiere that happened with Anime Expo 2024. I'm talking about I Parry Everything. So this is exclusive to High Dive. If you don't know High Dive, definitely go and check it out. Much like Crunchyroll, much like the former Funimation, there are amazing different ranges of anime or Japanese animation that you don't want to miss, and this is one of them. So I Parry Everything follows an adventurer who starts off very young named Noor. Noor is a very enthusiastic child, and he wants nothing more than to please his family and his family's legacy and their memory and their depiction of what an adventurer is. And something happens very early on that sets him on a path where he is hell bent on becoming an adventurer. So, he goes and commits himself to different academies and doing all these different kind of things, but for whatever the reason he can't develop an essential skill set to be able to classify himself as an adventurer. The only thing that he can kind of do is semi heal, semi give himself a little bit of physical characteristics, and he can parry, and that's it. So for the next 10 years he commits himself as a young child to doing nothing but honing that skill set until he can be placed as a quote unquote adventurer. So, what did I think of this? So, let's go ahead and kind of break it down real quick. So, first off, the animation for this is actually really well done. It gives me that old school um, anime vibe back in the 90s where you kind of like artistically, you can kind of tell like there's a certain nuance to every refined emotion that's going on when there's a battle going on, when there's a movement, even like down to the different weapons and the armor. There's this classic feel to it that I really thought was really rich and it felt old school. Now, the thing I'll say about this, they gave me the first two episodes, which I'm glad, because the first episode I was kind of like, are we going to linger on and people not understand what's really happening with this character Noor? Because Noor is very different. He's other level different, and his devotion and strength he doesn't even know. And so in the very beginnings of this, especially the first episode, I was very scared that we were going down this trend, and I was like, oh, are we gonna have to just kind of wait to see? Just bear with it, go to the second episode, you're gonna love where it goes from that standpoint. Now, very early on, I'm not going to spoil anything because there's a lot of characters he interacts with. You get an understanding of the hierarchy of like the nobles, so quote unquote nobles slash kings, like people that are warriors as well. And then you get the understanding of kind of how the adventurers work, the different subclasses, like the subclass of work that he's even trying to do is people that are go and take a cat out of a tree and give it to somebody, or cleaning out poop out of a storm drain. So that's the levels that he's at that he wants to get to. But it gets very interesting very fast because once you get an understanding of what he's truly capable of, this gets very exciting, very engaging, and I don't know where this is going to go past these two episodes, but it's very exciting. I think that they did a really good job of developing foundationally how devoted he is. Also, the thing I'll say about this is I didn't know that this can be very rated R. Not, My Hero Academia violent, and not even like if you think like Sword Art Online, like when they're in the dungeons, not like that, but there is levels of violence. There's blood, there's death, especially the first episode. It's very quick. So well, you know what? I'm not going to say that. It could go down that route, but that's not what they've kind of given me an inclination. There's a lot of witty banter and comedic side, and the comedy is very tongue in cheek. It's cute. It's cute. But it is also grounded in a lot of tragedy and a lot of devotion, and it can get very serious very fast. You haven't necessarily seen any demented characters yet, and we also don't know the power levels of certain people. I think that's the more interesting thing. So we do know very early on that our main character is a whole pound, quote unquote. So I would recommend you go, if you have High Dive, if you're on the fence whether or not to check this out, I would go and check out I Parry Everything. It definitely, from the first 2 episodes, got me involved. I was very excited, and I still don't know all the different levels to it, the different characters that he interacts with, and what their goals are and who they are. They are not annoying characters. They're actually very interesting, engaging characters. Second episode to me was even better than the first episode, just based on how they're setting things up to where it's going to go. So I would recommend going and checking out I Parry Everything. Thank you again to High Dive for allowing us to be able to cover this effectively. And thank you again for Anime Expo for yet another good premiere. So we'll talk to you soon. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this review of I Parry Everything.